What's up, guys? Welcome to another session with Mr. Abdul Wahab. This is Hermes Tasprep, and we are working on the writing and language part of the new SAT. This is practice test number 1, the sample exam that they have on the College Board website. Make sure you go to that website and download this sample practice exam and try to work on it all by yourselves. We've been going through the first 3 passages in the 3 previous videos. Today we're going to work on the 4th and final passage in this section of the exam. So the consolations of philosophy. Just to get a hang of things and just how we've been confronting or dealing with the questions that we have on this part of the exam, I advise you to go through the previous tutorials that we've had on this section of the exam, so just to get a hang of how we're doing things. Now, so the consolations of philosophy, okay? A consolation is something that gives comfort. So whoever is going to talk about philosophy here has a positive attitude towards it. It's again very important to notice these kinds of tiny details. They'll help you understand the text in a better way. So, long viewed by many as the stereotypical useless major, philosophy is now being seen by many students and prospective employers as in fact a very useful and practical major, offering students a host of transferable skills with relevance to the modern workplace. Now, when something is transferable, you could use it in another domain. So in broad terms, philosophy is the study of meaning and the values underlying thought and behavior. That is in broad terms. But more pragmatically, the discipline encourages students to analyze complex material, question conventional beliefs, and express thoughts in a concise manner. So let's take a look at questions 34 and 35 and at the underlined parts to see if the words have been used correctly. So in broad terms, speaking generally, okay, philosophy is a study of meaning and the values underlying thought and behavior. Now, this is a definition of philosophy. It's a very broad definition. It doesn't get into the details or the specifics, so the use of the term, the broad term, in broad terms, seems to be the appropriate words to use. So I'm liking no change here, but I'm gonna take a look at the other options that we have. For example, I mean, there's no example being given here, so I don't see why someone would choose for example. In contrast, we use it to produce or introduce a contrasting idea or piece of information. That's not what's happening here. Someone is explaining or defining philosophy. Nevertheless, again, we use it to introduce a contrasting or an opposing opinion to previously mentioned information. That's not what's happening, so in broad terms seems to be the best answer. But more pragmatically, the discipline encourages students to analyze complex material, question conventional beliefs, and express thoughts in a concise manner. That's pragmatically. Basically, this is when it gets to the practically, okay, the discipline encourages students to do the following things. Now, let's take a look at the options we have. Speaking in a more pragmatic way. Now, why would you substitute 2 concise words that deliver the information quite sufficiently with more words that convey the same idea? So instead of saying speaking in a more pragmatic way, just say more pragmatically. So this is just a lot of words. Speaking in a way more pragmatically, this is just improper use of the adverb. This is extremely wordy and it's even grammatically incorrect. In a more pragmatic speaking way, that's just an extremely strange and awkward way of phrasing things. So again, I'm going with no change. Because philosophy teaching students not what to think but how to think. So because philosophy teaching students, whenever you're using a present participle that is a verb plus ing, just like you have here, you have teaching, okay? Make sure you've got a helping verb before it. Now, let's take a look at the options that we have and how we could correct teaching in this instance. So we're definitely changing, okay? Teaching all by itself doesn't really do the job. Because philosophy teaches students not what to think, but how to think. Now, this looks like a good option. Because philosophy to teach students not what to think, the use of to here just makes it wrong, okay? because philosophy and teaching students not what to think. Again, this creates an incorrect sentence, so the best answer or option we have here is B. Let's continue. So a 1994 survey concluded that only 18%, sorry, I haven't finished the previous sentence. So because philosophy teaches students not what to think but how to think, the age-old discipline offers consistently useful tools for academic and professional achievement. A 1994 survey concluded that only 18% of American colleges require at least one philosophy course. Okay, so that's not a very high amount of colleges. Now, which choice most effectively sets up the information that follows? We need a piece of information, okay, that actually introduces the information that follows, which is basically, okay, a 1994 survey concluded that only 18% of American colleges required at least one philosophy course. So not a lot of colleges are providing these courses. So we need a piece of information that introduces this piece of information written here, that not enough colleges are giving these philosophy courses. Consequently, philosophy students have been receiving an increasing number of job offers. Well, this doesn't go in line with what's mentioned here. This has nothing to do with this piece of information, so there's no reason why you would use this sentence. Okay, so it's not A. Therefore, because of the evidence, colleges increased their offerings in philosophy. The information given in this sentence doesn't indicate that colleges have increased their offerings in courses of philosophy. Notwithstanding the attractiveness of this course of study, students have resisted majoring in philosophy. Now, this sentence is just too wordy. It doesn't deliver the ideas in it quite precisely or briefly. It says students have resisted majoring in philosophy. Now, actually, again, the following piece of information, the 1994 survey, it concluded that not enough American colleges are giving philosophy courses. So we need a piece of information that, or we need a sentence that sets up the information that follows. So, however, despite its many utilitarian benefits, utilitarian means practical benefits, colleges have not always supported the study of philosophy. So this sentence, okay, it immediately tackles the issue of not enough colleges, okay, providing philosophy courses for their students. Therefore, between 1992 and 1996, more than 400 independent philosophy departments were eliminated from institutions. They were eliminated, removed, okay? Now, therefore, I mean, this didn't happen because 18% of American colleges required at least one philosophy course. There is no cause-effect kind of relationship here. We're just introducing information, so we do need change. Thus is just like so, and so similar to therefore, so thus wouldn't be the best word to put instead of therefore. Moreover, now moreover, we use moreover in the same way that we use also, so we're adding more information. So not only are 18% of American colleges requiring at least one philosophy course, which is a very small number, but moreover, also between 1992 and 1996, 400 independent philosophy departments were eliminated. So moreover seems like a good linking word to use in this circumstance. However, now again we use however to introduce contrasting or opposing pieces of information. So there's none of those are actually doing the job properly, except for moreover, of course. Okay, moreover is giving us the appropriate meaning that we need. More recently, colleges have recognized the practicality and increasing popularity, okay, of studying philosophy and have markedly increased the number of philosophy programs offered. So recently, okay, newly that is, currently, colleges are recognizing the importance of this major and they're providing or offering more programs. By 2008, there were 817 programs, up from 765 a decade before. So that's about 50 programs increase. In addition, also, the number of four-year graduates in philosophy has grown 46%. That's a huge number in a decade. Also, studies have found that those students who major in philosophy often do better than students from other majors in both verbal and reasoning analytical writing. So these results can be measured by standardized test scores. Let's take a look at question number 39. Which choice most effectively combines, the sentences at the underlined portion? So we're trying to combine those two sentences which say that students from other students of philosophy do better, in both verbal, reasoning, and analytical writing exams than students from other majors. So we're gonna have to change it. Now, should we say writing as, so studies have found that those students who major in philosophy often do better than students from other majors in both verbal, reasoning, and analytical writing as measured by standardized test scores. Now, this looks like a brief, good way of joining the two sentences, Let's take a look at B. Writing and these results can be measured, Now, here we are repeating the same words again, We're repeating the word results. Basically, we're using a word where it could be eliminated. We don't need to say these results, because we know we're talking about the results of these exams. Studies have found that students who major in philosophy often do better, They do better, so that's the results, than students who from other majors in both verbal, reasoning, and analytical writing. So we don't need to mention the results again or to talk about the results. Writing, which can also be measured. So this is again too wordy. We're looking for the best answer when the results are measured by standardized test scores. When you have the short answer, the shortest, briefest, best answer, go for it, So on the graduate record examination, GRE, for example, students intending to study philosophy in graduate school has scored higher than students in all but 4 other majors. So here, the underlined words, we need to kind of fix it if we need to, and we do need to because we have the word has here as a helping verb. Now, we are referring to students, The students who are intending to study philosophy has scored. Now, has is singular. Have, is plural. So we do need change, Scores, again, we add the S. If we are talking about a singular subject, the subject is plural, so the S is wrong, Scoring, in graduate school, scoring higher than students in all but 4 majors. Students scoring. Now, we do need a helping verb here. So are scoring would be grammatically fine. But we're looking for something in the present perfect, and we're looking for the correct helping verb, and the correct helping verb is have. So the right answer is B. These days, many students majoring in philosophy have no intention of becoming philosophers. Now, here we've got an apostrophe S, and again, an apostrophe S indicates the possessive noun. When you have a possessive noun, you need a noun coming after it, which belongs to it, like the boy's bag. That's an appropriate use of the apostrophe S. Now, here the sentence says, these days, many students majoring in philosophy, many students who are majoring in philosophy have no intention of becoming philosophers. So there is no reason why we should be using an apostrophe S. There is no possessive context within the sentence. So we do need change. We're not going to keep it the same. Many students major in philosophy have no intention of becoming philosophers. This doesn't follow the grammatical structure of the sentence, because again, here you have what we call an adjective phrase, which is many students majoring in philosophy, they have no intention of becoming philosophers. This is the verb of the subject right here, which is students. So there is no need to include another verb before it. Students majors in philosophy have no intention. The majors aren't the ones who have no intention of becoming philosophers. It's the students. So students who are majoring in philosophy have no intention of becoming philosophers. Instead, they plan to apply those skills to other disciplines. That's the transferability of the skills you learn when you study philosophy. Law and business specifically benefit from the complicated theoretical issues raised in the study of philosophy, but philosophy can be just as useful in engineering or any field requiring complex analytical skills. Question 42. At this point, the writer is considering adding the following sentence. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato, for example, wrote many of his works in the form of dialogues. Now, we can see from the onset, okay, from the beginning, that this piece of information really has nothing to do with the content or the information mentioned in this passage. So should the writer make this addition here? Now, immediately I would cancel A and B because they say yes. Okay, it shouldn't be included because it has nothing to do with what the paragraph is talking about. So it's no, definitely no. Okay, that's the answer we're looking for. Now let's see why. We need to give a proper reason for this. It blurs the paragraph's focus by introducing a new idea that goes unexplained. This looks good. D, it undermines the passage claim about the employability of philosophy majors. Now, when you talk about Plato and that he wrote many of his works in the form of dialogues, this doesn't really undermine the passage's claim about the employability of philosophy majors. It just, it has nothing to do with the context of the paragraph. So why should we put it? It blurs the paragraph's focus. So, that these skills are transferable across professions, okay, which makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. Now, by using which, this has rendered the sentence incomprehensible, really. So that these skills are transferable across professions, which makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. The original idea that these skills are transferable across professions was not completed due to the sudden use of the relative pronoun which. Okay, so I'm gonna have to change it. Of course, I do need change. Okay, that makes them especially beneficial. That is another relative pronoun, and it doesn't solve the problem really here. And makes them especially beneficial. So if we say that these skills are transferable across professions and makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students, we still require more information to make the sentence make sense. So this doesn't make any sense. Delete the underlined portion. Now, if I delete which, okay, let's take a look at the sentence now. That these skills are transferable across professions makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. So when I deleted this word, now the sentence makes sense. I'm going with D, delete the underlined portion. Because today's students can expect to hold multiple jobs, some of which may not even exist yet, during our lifetime, studying philosophy allows them to be flexible and adaptable. So here we have the use of the possessive pronoun or adjective our. Okay, we're talking about students. Because today's students can expect to hold multiple jobs, some of which may not even exist yet. During our lifetime, studying philosophy allows them to be flexible and adaptable. Again, we're talking about the students. We're talking about them. We're not talking about us, okay? So we need a possessive adjective that refers to them or to the students. And the best one I see here is their, okay? In their lifetime, in the lifetime of the students. Why would you say his or her when you could just say their? One's lifetime, again, we're referring to the students, and we definitely need to change. So the best answer we have is their. So that's the writing and language part of the new SAT. As you can see, the questions are not really that challenging. With enough practice, you could be able to easily answer all of them correctly. And so that's it. That's the final tutorial on the first SAT practice test concerning the writing and language part. Stay tuned for some more videos on the new SAT and other English concepts with Hermes Test Prep. And this is Mr. Abdul Wahab. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to this video and make sure you share it with your friends to benefit everyone. See you soon on the next video.